In Los Angeles, police are looking into the bizarre death of a young woman from Vancouver. Elisa Lam's body was found in a water tank on a hotel roof yesterday.
Imagine checking into a hotel, going for a ride in an elevator, and then simply vanishing. No goodbye, no farewell message, no trace left behind, except one deeply unsettling piece of footage that would haunt the internet for years. That is exactly what happened to Elisa Lam, a 21-year-old student from Vancouver, Canada, who disappeared inside one of Los Angeles' most notorious buildings. And when the truth finally surfaced, it was more disturbing than anyone had imagined. The girl, the journey, and the hotel. Elisa Lam was a young woman with a love for travel, literature, and documenting her life online. She maintained a personal blog and had an active presence on social media, sharing photos and thoughts from her daily adventures. In January 2013, she embarked on a solo trip through California, traveling by Amtrak train and intercity buses. She visited San Diego, took photographs at the zoo, and seemed to be enjoying every moment of her journey. On January 26, 2013, she arrived in Los Angeles and checked into the Cecil Hotel, a towering building in downtown Los Angeles, just a stone's throw from Skid Row. What most travelers may not have fully understood was that the Cecil Hotel carried an extraordinarily dark history. It had been the residence of serial killer Richard Ramirez, also known as the Night Stalker, during his 1980s killing spree. The building had witnessed multiple suicides over the decades, including one particularly grim incident where a woman leapt from the roof and landed on a pedestrian below, killing them both. The hotel had earned its grim nickname, Hotel Death, through years of tragedy and violence. Despite having been partially rebranded as a budget traveler hostel called Stay on Main, the Cecil remained a building wrapped in darkness. Elisa was originally placed in a shared hostel-style room on the 5th floor, but within days, her roommates reported unsettling behavior. Hotel management would later describe the complaints as certain odd behavior. The hotel moved Elisa to a private room to resolve the situation. Staff noted she was leaving notes on the door telling people to go away and requiring a password for entry. A few days before her disappearance, she attended a live taping of a popular late-night television show in Burbank, but was escorted off the premises by security for disruptive conduct. Despite all of this, Elisa continued calling her parents back in British Columbia every single day, until one day she didn't. On January 31, 2013, her parents received no call. By February 8, they had officially reported her missing to the Los Angeles Police Department. The elevator footage that shocked the world. For nearly 2 weeks, investigators searched the hotel thoroughly. Police brought in sniffer dogs that swept the building, including the rooftop. They searched Elisa's room, where they found her belongings, wallet, identification, and laptop, all left behind. Her cell phone was never recovered. The search yielded nothing. With no leads and no sightings, the LAPD made a bold decision. On February 13, 2013, they released surveillance footage taken from one of the hotel's elevators on January 31, the last day Elisa was seen alive. The clip ran for approximately 2.5 minutes, and it immediately gripped the world. In the footage, Elisa is seen wearing a red hoodie and dark pants. She steps into the elevator and presses what appears to be every single button on the panel. Then she moves to the corner of the elevator, pressing herself against the wall, as if trying to stay out of sight. She peers out into the hallway cautiously, then steps outside the elevator, looks down the corridor in both directions, and steps back in. She repeats this motion multiple times. At one point, she leans out of the elevator sideways, scanning the hallway with careful, deliberate movement. Then comes the most discussed moment of the footage. Elisa steps out of the elevator entirely and begins moving her hands in what can only be described as strange, almost fluid gestures. Her fingers move and curl in unusual ways, as if she is speaking to someone invisible or responding to something no one else could see. Then she walks away. The elevator doors, which had remained open throughout this entire sequence, finally close on their own. Elisa never returns. The video went viral almost instantly. It accumulated millions of views within days and tens of thousands of comments across platforms worldwide. Viewers dissected every frame, every gesture, every second. Theories erupted across the internet. Some believed she was hiding from an attacker. Others pointed to supernatural explanations, drawing comparisons to a 2002 horror film involving an elevator and a water tank. Some latched onto an urban legend known as the elevator game, a ritual supposedly involving pressing buttons in a specific sequence to travel to another dimension. A few pointed to the footage's timestamp, claiming certain seconds had been edited out. The mystery consumed the internet entirely. An innocent woman had become a character in a real-life thriller, and the truth was still buried somewhere inside the Cecil Hotel. The discovery, the theories, and the heartbreaking truth on February 19, 2013, 6 days after the elevator footage went public, hotel guests began complaining about something deeply disturbing. The water coming from their taps was discolored, dark and murky, and had an unusual, foul taste. A maintenance worker was sent to the rooftop to investigate. On top of the Cecil Hotel sat 4 large industrial water tanks, each roughly 8 feet tall. When the worker opened one of those tanks and looked inside, he made a discovery that shook everyone who heard about it. The body of Elisa Lam was floating inside, unclothed. Her clothing, her watch, and her room key were also found in the water. She had been there for nearly 3 weeks. Investigators faced an immediate and deeply puzzling question. How did a young woman end up inside a sealed water tank on a restricted rooftop? The rooftop could be accessed through an alarmed fire door, which could only be deactivated using a staff key. Elisa did not have one. The alarm was never triggered. The tank itself had a heavy lid. The physical logistics of how she got there without help seemed almost impossible to many observers, which only fueled the theories of foul play. An autopsy conducted on February 21 returned inconclusive results. Toxicology reports later confirmed no alcohol or illegal substances were present in her system. However, the reports revealed something critically important. Elisa was prescribed at least 4 medications for bipolar disorder. While traces of these medications were found in her bloodstream, the levels were notably low, far lower than they should have been given her prescription fill dates. Police later discovered she had more medication remaining than she should have had if she had been taking it consistently. The evidence pointed clearly to one conclusion: she had not been taking her medication as prescribed. Elisa's family revealed to investigators that there had been previous episodes where she stopped taking her medication. During those times, she had experienced hallucinations and had hidden under her bed in a state of fear. She had been hospitalized at least once before. Forensic and clinical experts who reviewed the case suggested she was almost certainly experiencing a severe manic or psychotic episode during the final days of her life. This would explain the notes left for her roommates, the disruptive behavior at the television taping, and the deeply unusual actions captured in the elevator footage. As for the elevator itself, one detail resolved the most enduring question about the footage. Many viewers could not understand why the elevator doors remained open for so long without closing. Internet sleuths who later visited the Cecil discovered that Elisa had likely pressed the door hold button upon entering, which was designed to keep the elevator doors open for up to 2 minutes. There was no conspiracy. There was no outside control. She simply pressed the wrong button. Investigators concluded that Elisa, in the grip of a psychotic episode, had made her way to the rooftop using the exterior fire escape ladder, which did not require a key or trigger an alarm. In a state of fear and hallucination, believing she was in danger, she climbed into the open water tank seeking refuge. The lid may have closed behind her, or she may have pulled it shut. In June 2013, 4 months after her body was discovered, the Los Angeles County Coroner's Office officially ruled her death an accidental drowning. The story of Elisa Lam is one that sits uncomfortably in the intersection of tragedy and viral spectacle. She was a real person, a daughter, a traveler, a writer, who became lost not just in a hotel but inside her own mind during a moment when she needed help the most. The internet turned her final moments into entertainment, into conspiracy, into myth. But beneath all of that noise, the truth was always quieter, sadder, and more human than anyone wanted to believe. Sometimes the most haunting mysteries do not end with a dramatic revelation. Sometimes they end with a young woman who simply needed someone to notice she was not okay.